Earth as a singular planet. In fact, it is anything but. For this is a story not of a universe,
but a multiverse,
where universes and planets, such as Earth, were replicated and mirrored across a vibrating, infinite plane. Some barely different from the next.
Others drastically so.
This is DC On Screen. Every week, Dave and Jason talk about the multiverse of DC properties on film and television. But be warned, if it's been officially released, you can expect they'll spoil it.
Got it? Are we good? All right, sweet. Welcome into DC On Screen episode 471. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
And this is your guide to the DC Universe on film and television. Big news dropped this week, man.
Hit me.
Well, I mean, big news aside from the fact that I'm pretty sure that our sound is going to be back to normal or something close to normal. Mm-hmm. Finally got a lot of stuff up on the walls here in the old Dave cave. So Hopefully it's not all echoey and weird. And I found my pop filter. I'm not using a sock anymore.
And we're coming up in the world.
Yeah, that's the update of the week. Mm-hmm. No big news.
We've achieved what we were capable of 2 months ago. Yay!
Sometimes that's all you can hope for, man.
Yeah, we're back to status quo.
Yeah, man. So, I'm excited, but with like stipulations. Like, all right, so Deadline dropped the news that Ava DuVernay, the director of Selma, and the director of the critically panned A Wrinkle in Time, this out in theaters right now, is going to be directing. She's attached to direct a New Gods movie for DC. Mm-hmm. You are not excited about this, right?
I mean, I'm just middle of the road.
Okay.
I'm definitely not unexcited.
You don't like the New Gods too much. You're not a big fan of the New Gods.
No, not generally. I don't know if it's for any objectively good reason. They just never have really caught my attention too much. Sorry, but there's still a lot you can do with them. I have no problems with this movie, and I'll watch the crap out of it. And
sure,
it sounds fun. There's like 1,000 other things I would have done, but whatever.
Right?
We're getting a New Gods movie. Like, who the hell saw that coming?
See, not me, but. I'm excited for a number of reasons. I do enjoy the New Gods. I do sort of feel like the Forever People are kind of ignored too much, but whatever. But, I love Jack Kirby. I mean, how could you not? The man co-created, the entire Marvel universe and then popped over to DC and created his own fourth world.
Yeah. I mean, it's like required. It's mandatory that you appreciate Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
With good reason. He's one of the, Mount Rushmore people.
He's great. So this is exciting for a lot of different reasons. Everyone's very excited. And it's funny because, I've seen a lot of this. Squadcast guys talked about it. The critics are apologetically panning this movie. They're like, I'm sorry. I didn't want to not like it, but I kind of just hated it. I don't know. I've heard a lot of good people say a lot of good stuff about it. Patty Jenkins and her son loved it. Mm-hmm. Loved A Wrinkle in Time. I don't know. I haven't seen it. What I've seen in the trailers, it looks like something that is not my thing. Is not made for me, which I know it isn't. It's made for kids.
It's not our demographic. It does look. It kind of looks grand in that Disney way,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It looks grand in a way that and Scott talked about this too, and they're the only people I've actually heard talk about this, aside from us. They put the freaking Kirby Crackle in Thor Ragnarok, and I really hope they put the Kirby Crackle in this thing. The little round blotches of black matter in space and stuff that. Yes.
All right. I'm actually curious about. Let's do a quick game. 2 characters you really want to see and 2 characters you really don't, since it's New Gods.
Two characters I really want to see in New Gods. I don't know, man. I mean, how can I just pick 2?
Because you have a limit of 2.
But no, I don't.
I mean, you can rattle off 3 or 4 names. This isn't a hard shelled game.
I mean, I mean, of course, Darkseid is number one. You got to see Darkseid. Like, we heard his name in Justice League. I want to see Darkseid.
Of course.
You know what? I could do with Darkseid and Scott Free.
Those are your two?
Yeah, I think those are my two.
All right. Who do you really not want on screen?
It's
okay if you just go, I'm fine with everybody, but...
I kind of am. Like, I kind of feel like the zanier they get with it, like, I know who you don't want to see. I know you don't want to see Granny Goodness.
Absolutely, yeah. That's like my number one most wanted on my poster.
Like, you hate Granny Goodness. I want Granny Goodness. I want the Furies. I want Big Barda, which, by the way, a few months ago, in December of 2017, someone asked Ava DuVernay who her favorite superhero was, and she said Big Barda. Many reasons. So I suspect we're going to get a lot of Big Barda. I suspect we're going to get a lot of Big Barda here.
That would be a lot of fun.
And again, this is only in development. It might not even happen. But,
yeah, sure. I could deal with a Big Barda, though. She's a lot of fun. I mean, I love her and Scott Free.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he's definitely one that, like, if you ask me, hey, out of the New Gods, who do you think you could have some real fun with? It'd be Mr. Miracle Man. And yeah, I don't have any love for Granny Goodness. That's a known quantity. We all know that.
I mean, they seriously could. They could just do, since Big Barda is her hero, that's her favorite superhero. I would be okay with it. Let's just do Big Barda versus Granny Goodness and the Furies. Like, let's just have like Darkseid sort of on the sidelines.
I'd be okay with it just because well, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of hoping that Darkseid gets his own placement in something that resembles. Here's what Justice League 2 is still a possibility. It's just not the way that Snyder envisioned it, because obviously he had a two-part movie in plan, in process. So that's on hold. And I think he had a plan for Man of Steel 2 that's not going to be a thing either. Like, that kind of got folded into BVS. So I think Man of Steel 2 or Justice League 2, if those vehicles ever got off the ground, would be capable of housing Darkseid and would make sense.
Well, I think Man of Steel 2 just, like, Snyder said Man of Steel 2 basically just became Batman v Superman.
Right. It just folded in.
Like, because he said that he, like, sort of halfway jokingly mentioned Lex Luthor shipping Kryptonite to the front of Wayne Manor, like, and then, like, once that Batman cat was out of the bag, like, there was no going back.
Yeah.
Like,
this was no longer a Superman movie.
Every executive, every writer, everyone involved was just like, well, wait, what about that Batman thing? Okay.
Didn't I hear they fought once? Yeah. Every one of them with a grandkid that, has some interest in this kind of stuff. Yeah.
And, Goyer's just sitting going, damn it. I really don't want to do Batman versus Superman.
I know.
But I'm excited about seeing the New Gods, man. I love Orion. I want to see Caliban. I want to see
maybe the other one that I don't care to see.
Really?
Yeah. I never have seen a storyline where I was super interested.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I freely admit ignorance on this. I mean, I've only explored a lot of those stories insofar as they interested me, so I never got too deep into some characters. But he's just one of the ones where I always thought, yeah, I mean, neat dude, I guess. Oh well.
Yeah.
Is the weird part to me is one of my first thoughts when I heard there's going to be a New Gods movie was, oh, they better include the Source Wall.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good point.
I feel like it's extremely important to the New Gods, the whole Fourth World thing.
Aren't the old gods just part of the Source Wall? Isn't that how that works?
Oh God, I forget how that works. I mean, I know it's like I forget how it works.
I was pretty sure.
It's actually like there's a new multiverse map that's kind of become part of the Metal storyline. And it's just there's all this stuff in between. And all of these different pieces, but then like surrounding it like a giant halo is just Source Wall. Like of all the things, and Scott Snyder is kind of rewriting the universe the way he sees fit right now because his sales are just always off the charts. So whatever. But on his visual map of the universe, it's just blah 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 blah, and then Source Wall. And I still love the idea of it. Like I love the idea of hell, even the monitors being afraid to really approach it and. It's I don't know. To me, it's a neat concept. I hope someone plays with it.
I mean, I remember, if I remember correctly, Darkseid at some point died and became part of the fourth wall. I mean, the source wall, the source wall in the fourth world.
I think so.
But then, I mean, it's Darkseid. So,
it rings a bell.
Dude broke out.
He dies sometimes. I mean, I don't think you actually read Darkseid War, but
I didn't. No, I haven't gotten to that yet. I'm behind, y'all. I'm behind.
But it's got some neat stuff in there with a lot of those guys, and it's got some neat stuff in there because included you have Scott Free and Big Barda, but it also has giant spoiler here. Please skip ahead 5 seconds. You get to see a little infant, little Darkseid.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's capable of a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited for this. Let me just get to the okay. So there are a lot of people out there who don't know what the New Gods are. They don't understand it. They don't know what the deal is. Basically, Jack Kirby helped create the Marvel Universe, got tired of Marvel, popped over to DC and created the Fourth World, which is sort of its own little thing, but became like a big epic part of the DC Universe. Mm-hmm. And basically what's going on is they were all like the old gods, like your Zeuses and your Ares and stuff. And some people have even said that in the DCEU, Ares died. So he was like in Wonder Woman. So he was like the last of the old gods. So the new gods would be coming full force. I don't know how much I buy into that, but there's an idea that there was a Ragnarok, all the old gods died, and then the new gods came. There's new Genesis with the High Father, and it's like a paradise, and then there's Apocalypse, which is a fiery furnace of a world with slaves, and it's ruled by Darkseid. And that's the gist of the setting of the universe.
Good starting spot.
Huh?
Good starting place, I think.
Yeah, it's a good starting place. Darkseid, rules the Apocalypse, and the High Father rules New Genesis. Mm-hmm. And often Earth finds its, way in Apocalypse's crosshairs. And Darkseid is pretty much the big bad of the DC Universe at this point. But, they have their own adventures outside of the proper, soul system. And Deadline is actually saying there's no, quote, there is no connection to the other DC worlds being exploited for film right now by Warner Brothers, where studio boss Toby Emmerich and his newly installed DC production president Walter Hamada are moving forward with a new approach to filmmakers on their DC-based fare. Here's the thing. I am super excited for what might happen with a New Gods movie. Mm-hmm. That said, I think this is a tremendous mistake. And again, this is just in development. They haven't greenlit it. Or it's not in production. Mm-hmm. And even if it was, that doesn't mean anything's going to get shot or released. Look at, Justice League Mortal. But,
Justice League Dark, for God's sake.
Yeah, but if this thing is going forward, and look, I might be wrong. I would love to be wrong. You know what I was wrong about? Because I said the same thing about Guardians of the Galaxy. I went, what the hell is Kevin Feige doing? This is going to be terrible. No way this works out.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Why are we doing a talking tree? How are we going to do a raccoon? None of this is going to work. It all worked. Now, some of you may disagree and say, it was too jokey. You know what? I like that it's jokey. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. How can you take this seriously? I want
the
that.
Worst critic has to be like, okay, but it 80% worked.
There's no, whether you liked it or not, there's no way you're going it didn't work. No, screw you. Did you see how much it made? It worked. Fine. It worked. So hopefully that's the way it goes with New Gods. I don't see it working. I feel like it's, too far removed from what is relatable. I think people were like, Superman isn't relatable enough. Batman's killing too many people, which never bothered you before, but whatever. Mm-hmm.
Wasn't an issue until it was an issue.
Yeah. Suddenly, because Zack Snyder did it, and it was not Nolan. It was a big deal.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know what it was. We had plenty of people. We had plenty of people killed by the bat. In every iteration leading up.
Yeah, there were plenty. I think just people hadn't really thought about it too deeply for a while. And they
didn't kill anyone in Batman and Robin, but they killed the franchise for a while. Does that count?
It sure should. Also, I'd be willing to bet they killed some people. I'll bet if we went back and frame for frame to that, I'll bet somebody died. Come on, Batman 66 killed people.
I just remember a vague Wilhelm scream.
He's probably in there somewhere. If you had to... Oh, man. I would bet my next paycheck there's a Wilhelm in that. I'm not really doing that because I might be wrong. But I would totally, hypothetically, but not really do that.
Yeah. Me saying I think it's a mistake is not in any way. I look at it this way. Every time they put out any kind of like imaginative looking science fiction movie, and this is anyone, not just Warner Brothers, it kind of bombs. Like, people don't care because it's not a recognizable IP. New Gods isn't a recognizable IP. People don't know what the hell that is. It's not on Earth. It's out in the middle of some space field somewhere with a bunch of weird technology and weird creatures. No one cares.
The obvious rebuttal is Avatar.
There is that. There is Avatar. But, Avatar didn't have, like, what Avatar had going for it was, like, James Cameron. Oh, man, he's following up Titanic with Avatar, and he's been working on it for years, and it's going to be crazy good. And
it had some
you've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
You've got that crazy hype. What you've got with New Gods is like, oh, DC's going to try another, piece of shit property.
I know.
And they've got this Ava DuVernay.
Can you imagine, by the way, if the oh my god, if the DC movie universe had used anything is like poorly named, I guess, as unobtainium. The shit DC would have gotten for that.
Yeah.
Holy Lord, that is just
right.
That's egregious.
And look, everyone is very apologetic to Ava DuVernay, because they don't. Apparently, the critics just really don't want to dislike this A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah,
film.
I'm long past paying attention to any of their thoughts or feelings.
Yeah,
here's what I know.
They do matter. They matter.
It looks like the actual film is going to look good. I mean, visually.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it and thought, well, I like enough of these actresses actually that I'm probably going to see it at some point just to see. Mostly, I just thought I want to see Mindy Kaling be a god. That sounds fun.
Oh man, someone took a screenshot of Oprah Winfrey.
Mm-hmm.
She's got all the crazy wild white hair in this thing
Mm-hmm.
in A Wrinkle in Time. They were like, if she's not Granny Goodness, who is?
Oh god, that might work.
Right? It might.
I still want to put a wig on Ed Asner.
Yeah, on Superman the Animated Series, I think they just drew.
They just drew him to look like Ed Asner and threw some long hair on that thing.
Yeah.
Or let's go Ed Asner squared, Danny DeVito.
Oh no. I've got the perfect. I have the perfect Granny Goodness in mind. Clancy Brown.
All right. I mean, just like I would like that just because it would be I think he would do a good job of it, but like he would play it so seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Dude,
I'm leaning towards my Danny DeVito right now because he might play it with a little bit of whimsy.
Best Granny Goodness though, like on screen that I've ever seen was whoever played her in Smallville.
That is probably true.
Do you remember that? Like the old lady, like basically prepping Furies at an orphanage.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That shit was creepy, yo.
It was. It was.
She did a good job.
I forgot about some of the new gods in Smallville. Wasn't Godric in there too?
I don't actually remember.
Yeah, he was.
To go back.
Yeah. It's 10 years. 10 years of stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, I could get behind that. I don't know who else I would throw at it. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it has a shot to be good. It does. And it even has a shot to actually be given a chance somewhat, I'm not of the opinion that DC is just going to automatically get like shit on by the critics because of Wonder Woman. Like, this is actually a pretty good bet, that even when they didn't like a thing that she did, they were apologetic about it, most of them. But, I think it's a real risk if they go through with it. That said, I'll be excited to see whatever she does.
We'll see. For a lot of the critics, and again, I preface that with screw these people, but
well, sure, that's not the point. Like,
a lot
Justice
of the critics,
League
though,
proves.
I actually kind of think that like removing yourself from a previous notion is maybe a good thing for them. because it takes away any kind of expectations. Like if no one had told the critics, and I say in parentheses as though it's one big group we can count. Anyway, so if anyone had just told this group of the critics,
right?
Hey, we need you tomorrow at 7 p.m. I got to show you something. No one ever told him. No one ever it was made completely in secret. This is a bullshit experiment that can never happen. But I think if you just made that movie in secret and showed it to him final product, because they have no expectations, it has a better chance. Mm-hmm. This is one of the reasons that the DC movies have been so critically panned. And God, you can't say that sentence without pissing people off and whatever you follow it with. But whatever, I'm doing it. One of the reasons that it got so much critical backlash and fan backlash is it's the expectations. We all know it's the expectations. Like we all have them.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
When they're not met, these are people that we all care about way too much. So, I mean, coming at it clean, it's probably better.
Yeah, and I made that argument on Facebook earlier this week. Like, someone, I don't remember who it was saying, like, I mean, they need to get their core people right and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, there's no way to get those people right because the audience has too much expectation.
No, man. There is no right. Like, there is no 90 degrees.
There's no right. No. But with New Gods, you don't even know what the hell's going on with those guys. Yeah. Sure. That's what's going to work in Aquaman's favor. That's what worked in Wonder Woman's favor. That and Patty Jenkins.
Iron Man's favor, for God's sake. This is a
damned good,
tried and true thing. Where you take a character that's slightly, I don't want to say obscure, because none of the Marvel characters were obscure. But
come on, man. Iron Man was obscure.
Yeah, they almost canceled him a few times, but it was a B character in a lot of ways. And you take that and you invest all of that money and time and attention and love into that character, and everyone builds behind you. You take an most recognizable in the world kind of character like any of the DC Trinity, and you have any kind of take on that, and somebody's going to be pissed off. It's inevitable.
Yeah, I mean,
you're basically playing a numbers game, just doing it.
I mean, there were people I saw on Twitter who were like, I'm not watching Justice League unless they have Green Lantern in it. Mm-hmm. I saw people on Twitter going, well, I'm not going to watch it unless it has Green Lantern in it, and it's got to be Jon Stewart, because that's what I remember from the Justice League. He was the first Green Lantern. I'm like, no, you're talking about the cartoon. He wasn't the first Green Lantern.
He was not at all the first Green Lantern.
I love Jon Stewart. I'll be fine with seeing Jon Stewart in a movie. I'd be fine with seeing any of these cats. Yeah. But, that's because I've read so many comic books and seen so many iterations that I'm just kind of like, whatever, let's do it.
Yeah.
At this point. Yeah. But yeah, so there's a big factor of like they need to jump on some stuff that's not as recognizable. We don't need something that has a Christopher Reeve poking around in the background.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but and I like her point here, but I do feel like they tried that with Suicide Squad, and it worked numerically. That movie made its money, and a lot of fans actually really liked it, but the movie itself had its problems, and it didn't contribute to the universe. So
that's right.
That was one of the problems I think that WB is really having is they could have made a movie where they like planted a flag and said, no, Suicide Squad's it's a big deal. This is a real thing. And they kind of instead just made it an adjunct. And I mean, the movie itself, it had continuity problems. And it was because, again, WB came in and said this movie is supposed to be this long and it's supposed to do this exact thing. And you're going to do that now.
Oh, yeah. I have no faith in WB whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, my hope for WB is that Emmerich and Hamada get their shit together and that maybe this AT&T merger kicks Sujihara out.
That's
the
one thing that, like, I think all of us can hold hands and do kumbaya about. Is, like, if we get rid of Sujihara, we have a chance.
Yeah.
We have a chance. The dude shortened production when everything said, you need to let this lie. You need to let this, everything said it's not good enough yet. You need to let us work on it.
He shortened production and then he shortened the movie. Because not only did he shorten production so he could have a bonus, he shortened the production, the length of the movie because he has this narrative in his head that it'll make more money if you have more times for people to get in there and see it. Like, more opportunities per day is apparently better than more opportunities to see a good movie in the long run.
Dude, you have months to see movies.
And you know what? If they had pushed it back, it wouldn't have been stuck in between all of the sleeper hits that came out. It wouldn't have been
What
stuck
even a
between
sleeper hit? Like Coco was. You should have been aware of that, and you should have planned for that.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Coco as far as that's concerned, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But because
I have thoughts about Coco.
No, everybody knew Coco. Pixar, man. You don't mess with Pixar.
You don't mess with Pixar, man. You cannot, you've got to plan around it. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. You've got to do it. I know you're WB and you think you're big shit, but you're not. You've got to plan around Pixar because you're going to get every 12-year-old plus or minus 40 years in the theater for that thing.
And you also don't, throw your big gun Justice League movie out, right after Thor Ragnarok.
That was rough.
That was a bad move.
It was.
But there were some real sleeper hits that came out, and just no one knew that they were going to be a thing, and they were a thing. And, oh my goodness. But anyway, I guess we'll move on to this. Justice League is officially out of theaters. It is officially the lowest grossing DCEU film. As measured by Box Office Mojo, BVS, Batman v Superman, is the highest worldwide with $873.6 million. Wonder Woman, $821.8 million. Suicide Squad comes in number 3 at $746.8 million. Man of Steel at $668 million. And Justice League at $657.9 million. And even domestically, some of them are a little switched. Wonder Woman domestically got $412.5 million. BVS got $330.6 million. Suicide Squad's again number 3 with $325.1. Man of Steel $291 and Justice League at $229 million. Justice League is substantially down from Man of Steel even.
Yeah.
There's just been, a lot of other stuff came out. There was a lot of bad word of mouth over Justice League. There just was. And by word of mouth, I mean both about the plot and Superman's mouth.
Yeah. Word of mustache.
And what's funny, though, is that, it is Justice League is still on the bestseller list on Amazon as of today. I looked at it today. It is number 6 on the bestseller list on Amazon. The Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. But guess what is number 6? It's behind Jumanji, which on Blu-ray, which no one saw how big Jumanji was going to be at the box office. The Greatest Showman, that wasn't on my radar.
Okay, Jumanji I got. Greatest Showman, that one's surprising.
Yeah. Jumanji on DVD, Thor Ragnarok on Blu-ray, because how did you not know that?
Yeah,
and Pixar's Coco.
Thor was going to win. And yeah, there's Coco again. Okay.
Yeah, so it feels like history is kind of repeating itself just on the home market now. Mm-hmm. No love for Wonder on this list, but I don't even know if that's out on Blu-ray or any kind of home media yet. But Wonder kind of kicked Justice League's ass, actually.
There was a lot.
No one knew that was going to be a thing.
I don't know, man. There's going to be some sneakers that come in, but between Ragnarok and Coco, that's hubris. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That is hubris.
And you're going to put it out when you know that there's already been bullshit going on about who's directing, when you know that there's already been a bunch of, speculation about the quote-unquote extensive reshoots, which, by the way, were real. We're a real thing. When you go back, if you're a new listener and you go back and you decide to listen to all of our old stuff, you're going to hear us defending Justice League and saying that shit ain't real. We were wrong.
Well, we said the reshoots were real, but we said that reshoots happen for other reasons.
Yeah, and we also said they weren't as extensive as they're reporting, but we were wrong about that.
We were.
We absolutely were. And I don't trust, I'm back to early days of the podcast where I don't trust WB as far as I could throw them.
Yeah.
Not that I ever had a tremendous amount of trust for them.
No, I understand. Completely understand.
Gosh.
I mean, for us, they're so detached. It's a series of ones and zeros, and I couldn't even throw those farther than I trust them.
Yeah, if they find a way to mess it up, they'll do it.
Yeah, that's
at least thus far.
So far, the MO. It's really frustrating to watch.
Yeah. So speaking of frustrating, over on Vero, Josh Costella posted a screen cap of the scene from BVS, the Superman death scene in BVS. And it says, never noticed before 3 crosses. There are 3 crosses in the background behind Batman and Wonder Woman. And Zack Snyder responded and said, that's a reference to Justice League 2. Another user said, wait, you just dropped a huge bomb on us. And Zack replied, hashtag until it wasn't.
Of course.
I want to know what that was originally. I want to sit down with Zack Snyder and just have a conversation about all of this stuff.
Oh, man.
If I ever get the chance, I'll ask if we could do it for the show, guys. I'll try to help you out, but if he says no, I'm doing that shit off the record. I just want to know.
Yeah, we would be the 3033rd media outlet that actually asked for that scoop. And I mean, God, everybody, that's pretty much, if you look at Twitter or Vimeo, that's all anyone wants to know is like, what did you have in there?
Yeah, man. Okay, so you saw the video where Henry Cavill said goodbye to his mustache.
I did, and I laughed.
That was kind of charming. That was funny.
Yeah, and I've had damn song stuck in my head all afternoon because of it.
Yeah, he's got this bit where he's in the bathroom and he's like, oh, hey, whatever. And he shaved his mustache and then he has like a little video montage of like different pictures of him with the mustache, and he even like sneaks in a couple of shots, like some of the really egregious shots from Justice League of the bad CGI.
Yeah.
And with I Will Remember You by Sarah McLachlan going, it's fun.
It is. And the part that actually made me laugh the most was him with the towel on his head.
I think Shaven But Not Forgotten made me laugh the hardest.
Yeah, that was good. It's just I don't know, man. There's something about the towel wrap on the head that makes me laugh every time. Especially when it looks like a clean, fresh set of like hotel towels. I don't know why that makes me laugh harder. It's just like some trope I've learned to laugh at, but whatever.
Yeah,
it makes me happy.
I laughed. Someone commented and said, "You best unshaved for Shazam."
That's pretty good.
I was like, "You're talking to Henry Cavill here, man. Come on, construct a sentence."
I've read his comments. The man can make a sentence. Yeah. It was good. It was a good video.
I would love to see him in Shazam.
Oh God! It even just a cameo, anything.
Yeah. Oh man, I really don't want him to overshadow Shazam.
See, it's the head towel that puts you in that space. I understand.
Yeah, it was, but I would love a cameo. By the way, did you see the new Shazam logo?
I did. The Shablam logo?
Yeah, the Shablam logo. It was inspired by his Shablam logo, apparently unintentionally.
Yeah.
But
looks
according
great,
to,
by the way.
to Sandberg. All right, so this logo's got dark clouds, it's got lightning behind the Shazam logo. There's a big bright yellow lightning bolt behind the word Shazam, which is just thick and embossed and bright, bold red. I love the exclamation point at the end of Shazam. I love that the exclamation point is part of the title of the movie.
Yep.
I'm just excited for this stupid thing.
Yeah.
I just am.
I know.
This is like childlike joy springing forth from the pit of my soul, man. I even love that the DC logo is hanging out above the logo. The whole thing feels like childlike wonder to me, man. And I never, ever in a million years thought I would be this damned excited for a Shazam film.
Well, first, you never thought you'd see one.
Well, no.
Because you're a rational human being with real thoughts. So
I know.
Second.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah. I said you have them. I didn't say they're exclusively. So,
right.
Second, now that you have it, come on, man. Like childlike joy, if you're experiencing that while you're looking at just the teases coming up to it, that's the exact appropriate thing. Like Shazam is just like, it's a child's fantasy. Like, what if I just said one word and I was a superhero? You know, like that. Oh my! Like, if you gave that book to a 7 or 8 year old, that's what I would obsess over for months. Like, oh, wouldn't it be fantastic if I could just? Anyway, it's fitting the aesthetic for that character so well right now. The logo is unapologetic. The costume from all the set pics right now, completely unapologetic. Like, they are doing this movie as enthusiastically as, like, you ever heard the phrase we're all boys grown tall?
I don't think so, no.
That's what's happening right now.
That's good. Speaking of childhood fantasies. The director of Shazam, David Sandberg, posted a picture of a piece of graph paper with a child's handwriting on it that says, "Thank you for picking me for the role of redacted." They blocked it out. The note writes, "Thanks again, warm regards, redacted," blocked it out. And Sandberg wrote, "Working with kids is nice." And that was a couple of weeks ago. And then this week,
Cute moment.
Sandberg posted what he referred to as, quote, "another awe." It was a napkin with spaghetti bits of tomato sauce that read, in a child's handwriting, "Mr. Sardbard, thank for me play Shazam," and then a heart and says Zach.
I really want to be on this set. It just seems like they're having so much fun right now.
Yep. Thank for me play Shazam. Heart Zach. Mr. Sardbard. Over to Wonder Woman 2. Omega Underground is reporting that Wonder Woman 2, whose working title is Magic Hour, by the way, is going to begin filming in June, quote, in and around the area of Northern Virginia, District of Columbia. So that's the thing. They're also reporting that Flashpoint could be filming in Vancouver, which I really hope so, and I hope that means that Ezra's going to see Grant in the Speed Force, man. If there's anywhere to do it. I think that would be it.
I would just kind of love to see them, like a picture of them meeting at a bar later. Even that would make me kind of happy.
Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, man. All right, so we're going to move over to the DCTV segment. And if you're going to follow us, that's awesome. If you're not, though, if you're behind, I'm behind, by the way. Desperately trying to catch back up. But if you're not going to follow us, you can go check us out at dconscreen.com. You can follow us on Twitter. We have a lot of fun over there with the Squadcast guys and the guys from Fans Without Borders. And we share a lot of listeners, so we have a lot of fun. DC on Screen over on the Twitter, or David C. Robertson over on Twitter. That's where I go personally to tweet about random things. All right, so on to the DC TV segment. We've got CW finale dates. We've got Legends of Tomorrow, Monday, April 9th. Black Lightning, Monday, April 16th. Arrow, Thursday, May 17th. Flash, Tuesday, May 22nd. And Supergirl, Monday, June 18th. So I guess mark that on your calendars. If you don't have the TV Time app, that is. TV Time is amazing. I love TV Time.
Yeah, it's solid.
And it's not just because we're in partnership with them and they put episodes of ours up. It is legitimately because.
But I've legitimately
it doesn't hurt my feelings
before they ever talk to us.
Yeah, absolutely. That app is the shiznit. It's the real dope. I don't know how people talk or what's cool to say, but it's awesome. You should go check it out.
I'll describe it thusly. It's like having a secretary that keeps up with your entertainment for you.
Seriously, my wife walked in. She's like, "Hey, how far are you behind on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?" I'm like, "I don't know. Let me check." I went to TV Time.
Yeah.
I went, "Oh, I'm 4 episodes behind. I need to catch up tonight." And that's what I did last night.
Well, I do that often. Is my wife will walk in and be like, is there anything we can watch? I'm like, yeah, let me look. Right? Oh Lord, Brooklyn Nine-Nine premiered again. Let's do it.
Yeah. I had that same moment where I was like, I haven't done it yet. I haven't had time, but
neither have I.
I was looking at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I looked at my wife and I said, "Oh, dude, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is back on." She was like, "Oh, good."
Oh shit, yes.
Actually, she said, "I know because she uses the TV Time app."
Right.
Anyway, over to news on the Flash. People are still talking about this mystery girl that showed up in the crossover. Flash EP Todd Helbing talked to TV Guide about it, about the mystery girl. And, some think it's Dawn, Barry and Iris's daughter. Some think it's the granddaughter, Jenny Ognot's. And still others think it's the Earth 3 speedster that Jay Garrick mentioned. Helbing said of the theories, some of them get pretty close. Some of them hit one part of it. but they don't get other parts, so it's fun to read. I don't think anybody ever is going to guess exactly what it is, which means that they're straying hard from canon, probably.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Now this is
I'm always
exciting.
curious. Like, Flash has...
What are you...
Flash is
What are you curious
really
about?
good at this, man. They will have some mystery going on in the back of a season that has us all guessing. I mean, God, like the Man in the Mask, we were all just tearing each other apart over what that could be. Mm-hmm. They're good at this. Like, I'm excited.
They are really good at that. So this is cool, kind of, probably. I'm excited. I'll put it that way. Mm-hmm. WB has announced that Matt Ryan's Constantine will become a series regular on season 4 of Legends of Tomorrow.
Woo!
But here's the rub.
Oh.
This is if Legends is renewed for season 4, which is a bit of a toying cost right now. None of the DC shows have been renewed over on CW. And when this was announced, I told you, I said, oh, well, we just got confirmation that Legends of Tomorrow is going to be canceled.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way they're going to give us this much Constantine. They'll dangle it in front of our faces and be like, oh, well, we had to make a hard decision, guys.
Yeah. That's what they do. I understand.
But I'm God help me. I actually now want Legends to be renewed.
I get,
and I don't know what you're talking about. You said it was getting better, and I haven't seen that. Like, what I saw was a damn rat ghost.
Okay.
Running around while a guy that does not look or sound like Elvis pretended to be Elvis.
He actually did sound like him singing. And to be fair, I've never met Elvis, so I can't. I can't disparage that. But
I'm not talking about the singing. I'm not certain that wasn't Elvis, but
I'm not either. Here's what I have liked about the season. It has like all the stuff with the totems has it comes and goes as far as whether it interests me, but it's at least a coherent storyline that has something it's leading up to. The characters themselves, Ray aside, all of the people that are saying Ray should be a competent, awesome human being like he was when we met him, I get you. I completely get you. I completely get it. I feel you, Madison. And I mean, other than that, like, there are a lot of advantages. There are a lot of character developments this year that have really been important. Like Sarah actually, caring about somebody, one person, for a moment. That's important. But if you look at the last few episodes, and let's say you take away that damn Debo thing, they have been kind of taking advantage of time travel in a way that I can really appreciate.
Okay. I did like the time loop episode. That
was good. They really have, though, like, especially all the references to Groundhog Day. Like,
absolutely.
Like, just cut out the shit. Just tell me Groundhog Day next time. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Are you seriously gonna know what that means? Yeah.
Of course.
All right, Nate. Groundhog Day. Huh? Groundhog Day. Oh, you're caught in a time loop.
And he's just right there with it, right? Like, that's the kind of stuff that I feel like in a lot of ways they're tackling scenarios and plots that I kind of hoped for the whole time. And to bring in Constantine, like bringing in a whole new area that I have to admit they tied Sarah to in a way that's really interesting. And they've even brought in Ray in a way that really makes sense. Where like Constantine basically tells Ray, like, you're going to need that. You're going to need to start keep working on the science of how to basically neuter magic, because that's going to come up. Yeah. That's the kind of thing that I can get behind.
Now, I've said it before, and Scott Madison, Planet Rise Creative on Twitter, has just said it to us, talked about, like, how he would like for them to return Ray to the competent human being that he was at the beginning of Arrow. Here's the thing, though. He's still competent. I've made the same claims as Scott, but I actually went back and looked at Ray's first episode.
Oh, he's a bumbling fool in the first episode.
Of Arrow. Like, yes, he came in Tony Starkish and, like, ruled that boardroom. But if you actually watch him with the knowledge that you have now of him in Legends, he's the same guy. Like, look at his eyes, look at the way he's playing the character. Like, the only difference is on Legends, now he knows he never like becomes anything. Like, he never does anything for mankind. Like, his self-esteem has taken a hit.
Well, but I think throughout the arc of Legends, they've kind of toyed with the idea that he never did anything and landed on, basically, if you play your cards right, you're huge, and if you don't, you're innocuous. And if you play your cards completely wrong, you're a detriment.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that when the character died and no one cared, I think that really...
That's gotta hurt.
I think that screwed with him. I think that screwed with him.
Gotta hurt.
And they played with that. They did play with that for a while. They didn't play with it nearly as much as I really wanted them to at times, but I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of the same bumbling ineptness, but super genius, level actions that I'm looking at on Legends. So I don't think it's as big of a gap as I previously thought it was, or as much as what Scott thinks it is.
I mean,
I'm not saying it's not without merit, though, because I could really use them to, just stop making them trip everywhere and,
Yeah, that'd be helpful. I mean, he has a ton of moments where, like, what was it, a few episodes ago, he just kind of slams this guy into the wall, like, oh, and Biggins now.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
It was a baller moment.
You know what I want to see? This is what I want to see from Legends, all right? I want to see Ray disappear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see him for like at least a year. All right. Then I want to do like the Dark Knight Strikes Again scene. Mm-hmm. I want Ray like in an ocean fighting like a giant ocean monster, and then it turns out someone's held him prisoner in a petri dish, and that was like some sort of bacteria or something he was fighting. That's what I want to see. Like I want to see like Wesley level badassness coming out of Ray suddenly. Like, like how Wesley went from like, zero to hero and Angel.
Yeah.
I want to see like Ray
Wesley
really take that stride.
Buffy and Angel is possibly one of the best character arcs in fictional history.
Oh yeah, like between like season 3 and 4 or whatever it was of Angel, where he just comes back and he's just a total badass. Like he already was a badass because he comes in and they're like, who's this? On Angel, they're like, who is this guy that's killing all these demons? And like he takes off the helmet and this Wesley, and he's like, rogue demon hunter, and you're like, what the hell?
Well, but that's like,
but then
2 years before, like that's like a year and a half or a year or two after he claims to be rogue demon hunter, but he's just like a librarian. And then that's 2 years after he was just like some dude with some access to some rare books and some ideas. He was like, literally, he does a pratfall in his introductory episode.
Yeah. And then, you cut ahead, spoilers for Angel, but you cut ahead and, he's on his own. He's got like these like fold out swords coming out of his sleeves, and he's just a total badass. Take no prisoners type. And Angel goes like, what happened to you, man? And he goes, my best friend lied to me and I had my throat slit.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, that's what I want for Ray.
Yeah.
Like, I want him to become a really cool guy.
I know. I do feel like Arrow set him up for that, because that's what Arrow does, is set people up for that kind of storyline. And then he ended up in another, I'm going to call it a writer's tank.
Uh-huh.
I think a new term. And that tank didn't see him the same way. But in all fairness, like he's great as a charismatic fool, so, whatever.
He is. And he and Nate are fun together, and they're all geeky and ridiculous. Anyway, moving on.
Honestly, if that was all that happened this week was Constantine gets to Legends, oh man.
Yeah. There are photos floating around out there of talent trailers behind the scenes on Titans, and apparently the Maronis are going to be in Titans.
Nice.
The Maronis are a crime family. If you watch Gotham, you've probably seen them. Sal Maroni was in the comics. Boss Maroni was the one who turned Two-Face or Harvey into Two-Face. He threw the acid onto Two-Face, and there are iterations where they the Maronis are one of the Maronis actually hired Tony Zuko to kill Robin's parents, so that actually might be tying into something on Titans.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, and also Harvey Dent, Two-Face, has got a lot of stuff going on with Robin. There's a lot of history between Two-Face and Robin, so that all might be. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a Harvey Dent floating around somewhere.
God, thinking about it, it'd be fantastic to see him on Gotham again, but
right.
I hadn't thought about that in probably a year. Good Lord, you just reminded me.
Yeah. We haven't had Harvey in a while.
Yeah, I know.
Better hope that season 5 comes through. Help us, Nick DeGasto.
Yeah.
Save us.
Come growl at us.
All right,
more.
last bit of news for the week. Lynda Carter is going to get a star on the Walk of Fame there, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She's going to be getting it Thursday, April 3rd at 11:30 a.m. I guess that's Pacific time.
Probably.
If I remember what I didn't write down correctly.
That's a good guess.
But yeah, Lynda Carter will be there, and CBS CEO Les Moonves is going to be there, and of course Patty Jenkins is going to be there. So that's cool. I'm happy for Lynda Carter that she finally gets her star.
Yeah, that is a nice thing.
I mean, you're an icon at this point.
Yeah.
Who cares if you only did like makeup commercials after that?
Honestly, yeah. It's like that entire sidewalk is iconography. If you're an icon, you're an icon. Period.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Do you have anything else?
I'm gonna call it.
All right. Well, folks, thank you for listening. You can find every episode at DCOnScreen.com. We're on iTunes. It helps a lot if you go and give us a 5-star or 4-star, whatever you think we deserve, basically. But I hope it would be a positive review. That would be nice.
We can weather the
the old adage, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I wouldn't do this podcast if I followed that, so I can't expect you to either.
Yeah. Live by the sword, die by the sword, brother.
Absolutely. Lucifer's still bad.
Not sure I agree. That's actually been kind of fun.
Oh no, man. I'm not totally caught up. I've still got 2 episodes to catch up, but the 2 before were just bad. I just thought I'd mention that. I don't know.
I think one of the ones you might have seen, I disagree with you, and the other one I might say just wait.
That school reunion episode was bad.
Oh, that was bad.
So bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, DC on Screen over on Twitter, Instagram, all the places. I'm putting up updates of the Man Cave, the Dave Cave, which isn't really a Dave Cave, but whatever. It's really just the DC office.
Right.
But anyway, guys, gals, whoever may be listening, thank you. We love you. Until next time, keep some DC on your screen. Our opening narration was from Dan Jurgens' The History of the DC Universe, Part 3 of 10, as featured in DC 52, Week 4. It was performed by me, David C. Robertson. Intro music by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Future Elevators, could be found on Spotify or future-elevators.com. Our introduction was performed by Effie Oppelders of the fantastic podcast Stealing the Remote, which lives on SoundCloud. It can also be found on iTunes and Stitcher. We are proudly in partnership with TV Time, TV show calendar and social media site that lets you keep track of what you're watching, what your friends are watching, and where you all left off. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. Visit maladjusted.tv for more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, an improvised web series, vlogs, parodies, and more.
Are you maladjusted?
Are you ready for a rewarding career in the electrical industry? Quality Electric of the Coastal Carolinas, QECC, is looking for qualified electricians and electrical helpers to join its Charleston team. QECC offers guaranteed full-time hours, make up to $30 per hour with possible performance bonuses and career growth opportunities. Enjoy benefits like health insurance, dental and vision coverage, 401k plans, and more. If you're a motivated, experienced electrician, this job is for you. QECC is an equal opportunity employer. For all job inquiries, send email to hr@qeccinc.com.